don't tell your competitors what you do, and in fact probably it leads them the wrong way and tell them to carb up all day long and eat lots of carbs. But you yourself, you work with someone like you, Willy, to tell you what to do and how to actually optimize your performance. Hello everyone, Thomas Weimbs here from Santa Barbara Nutrients. I'm here at the Keto Live Conference, or sort of at the after party of the Keto Live Conference in Switzerland, with Ueli Lanz. And here you can see the name on the t-shirt. So Willy is one of the participants here, one of the coaches, the instructors, and will be part of the Keto Live project going forward, teaching people all about nutrition and exercise. So maybe we'll walk a little bit, and we'll try to figure out who is Ueli Lanz. All right. So Willy, you're in Zurich in Switzerland, right? That's where you're headquartered.
Yes.
And you're both a nutritionist and a trainer, right? An exercise trainer. So the I guess the first question I have is, that's not very common, this combination, I think, or is this a thing that people are both trainers and nutritionists at the same time? How did this happen for you?
So usually, I mean, it's a common combination, I would say, but usually it's the other way around. So people are trained as a trainer, and then they add the nutrition part, and they use to recommend nutrition to their clients in training. But I would say not a lot of the trainers have a profound education in nutrition. And I went the other way. I first got education in nutritional therapy, and then added the training later on. And now I combine it. And what's probably also not very common is the combination of strength training coach and low-carb diets,
Right.
low-carb nutrition coaching.
Right. Yeah, so that's actually very specialized. So of course here at the Keto Live Conference, everything is all about ketogenic metabolic therapy. So I'm assuming that your nutrition approach is mostly ketogenic as well, is that right?
So it depends on the clients, and I'm not applying the ketogenic therapy to all my clients. Often it's also just a version of lower carb diets. It really depends on the goal. But for clients that have metabolic derangement and, like pre-diabetes and just really metabolically unhealthy, I usually go lower carb and sometimes also ketogenic. And then obviously I also have clients that find me through the keto approach and they really want to go all the way ketogenic. And then I help them with that. And often I have clients that train in the gym and they'd like to do a ketogenic diet, but everybody they find, they just tell them you need to eat carbs to be able to perform.
Right.
And then when they find me, they get some relief because I can tell them otherwise.
Okay, excellent. And I think that's, of course, a really big thing, for athletes, even people that do this professionally. The big question is always, what's the right nutrition for me? And, there's all kinds of approaches, you have to carb up, or keto is just the opposite of that. Are there certain, if somebody's an athlete, let's say, are there certain types of sports that lend themselves to, being a carb burner where you're just doing much better versus being a fat burner, a keto person, where you do much better?
So usually highly glycolytic sports, obviously it's a bit more difficult to perform on a high level on a ketogenic diet. But there is combinations. I mean, you can still, let's say, go on a lower carb diet and then strategically add carbohydrates as you need. But the thing is, I mean, I mostly deal with, let's say, average people and not professional athletes. For professional athletes, the goals are different. and it's not about a healthy diet. It's the goal is performance, and with everyday people trying to live a healthy lifestyle and get the benefits from sports and training, you can do a lot of different sports and combining it with a lower carb diet.
Excellent. Maybe we'll turn around real quick to just show everyone the nice background here. So there's some houses, there's a church somewhere. Really pretty here in Switzerland where we are.
Maloja,
yeah, Maloja. Great. Okay, so Willy is primarily working with common people that I'm assuming need help, that they probably have metabolic problems, metabolic disease, maybe overweight, diabetes. But don't want to put words in your mouth. Who are your clients mostly?
So yes, including people with metabolic diseases, but also just people that try to optimize their lifestyle and increase their muscle mass through training, or just deal with smaller issues like not sleeping well, problems with focusing for work, or just a little bit of overweight. Weight optimization is a big topic with most of my clients. And as we know, this could just be the beginning of a metabolic issue or disease. So therefore, it's also a lot of work in the prevention of diseases, obviously.
Right. Wow, excellent. So how does this work? So coaching someone for their nutrition is different from training, from exercise training. And you do both, remote coaching, but you also do hands-on. I'm assuming the exercise is really in your studio where people can come. And the nutrition, I think, is more online. Is that right? How does this work in practice?
Yeah, so the nutrition coaching, let's say 95% is online that I do with video calls, or if people live around my place, they might visit me, but otherwise it's mostly online. And for the training, I rent a place in Zurich in the city, and then I train there with people. I do group trainings, I offer group trainings, but also personal training, which is one-on-one.
Right. Wonderful. So one question that I always get a lot from people that do ketogenic metabolic therapy, there also might be, sports folks, they have their favorite sports that they do. The question is, what do they have to consider? If you're suddenly burning keto, fat, there's certain things you have to maybe consider for your exercise. Certain things you can do better, other things that don't work so well. What are the changes people should expect?
So when you transition from a high carb to a low carb or ketogenic diet, obviously it'll impair your performance for a while, and you need to take it a bit slower for most people. But so it works extremely well for endurance sports. So let's say if you're a marathon runner, a ketogenic diet works wonders, because you usually don't get into this high glycolytic phase where you need very quick energy from your carbs, and you can sustain for a long period on your fats, as we know. So that works quite well. And as soon as the adaptation is over, you can perform quite well, or even better than before. And for strength training, it really depends. It's individual, highly individual. For me personally, it works very well on the ketogenic diet. I would probably not be able to build my performance for stage level, competing in bodybuilding, of course. But most people don't want that, right? The goal is to get healthy, build healthy muscles, and live a healthy lifestyle. And therefore, it works actually quite well with the ketogenic diet as well. It needs a bit of adaptation. It needs a bit of time. Also, you cannot go like full speed in the gym when you change the way you eat. but over time you can get back to same levels or even better.
Oh, excellent. All right, so there you have it. So the transition period is, of course, problematic for some people, but once you're keto adapted, it sounds like, a secret is that you might, if you're an endurance sports person, you might actually do way better than your competition. So is this legal in like competitive sports? Can you be on keto, or does anyone consider this doping?
I mean, I know of several athletes in the professional world that, like marathon runners, and that are on a ketogenic diet. Some of them officially, publicly, they also talk about it, but many others, they don't talk about it because they also use it as like it's part of their secret, and not all the athletes would tell everybody what they eat and when they eat in order to perform. And in the strengths exercising world, it's a bit different. You don't find many people in the gym on a low carb diet, because there it's still the dogma that you need a lot of carbs to be able to build muscle. But at the end of the day, what you need is an energy surplus, and you need to put in the work in the gym. So you need to train hard, which is I would say the most difficult part for most average people going to the gym. Actually go that far that they're creating the signals that the muscles are growing. Therefore, for most people, the carbs are not really relevant, And you obviously need enough building blocks, which is the proteins. That's for sure. But you can still build muscle on a fat-based diet. Maybe not as fast, but the good thing is you also don't add as much fat mass at the same time that you then need to burn off again. So it's more quality mass that you build over time.
Good, excellent. All right. So the secret tip here for anyone who might be in competitive sports is don't tell your competitors what you do, and in fact probably leads them the wrong way and tell them to carb up all day long and eat lots of carbs. But you yourself, you work with someone like you, Willy, to tell you what to do and how to actually optimize your performance. So it's been great to hang out with you. And this morning, I was lucky to participate in a little exercise training by Willy, and I'm the least experienced exerciser ever, and I had to use a baby weight, but hopefully I can walk my way up. Good. Where can people find you? Are you on social media? Do you have a website? How can people get in touch with you and get coaching for nutrition and for exercise?
Yes, of course. So my website is my name. It's uelilanz.ch, uelilanz.ch, and that's also my Instagram account. It's the same, and also you'll find me on LinkedIn, also with my name.
Good, excellent. So we'll put some links down there in the description, and if anyone is interested in getting expert advice in those directions, feel free to reach out to Willy. All right, thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you too. Thanks a lot.
Bye.